Okay, so let's start with a very bizarre press conference that Donald Trump gave, where he did all sorts of things that make very little sense. And what I want to point out about this press conference in particular is that Donald Trump seems barely conscious in this press conference. The bone white eyes in the middle of an orange face, his eyes half closed. He sounds like he's on Ambien or Downers, barely awake. And reminder, this is a clip of a press conference about COVID-19 and the death of a patient. And Trump is rambling incoherently about ISIS, slurring, sniffing, short of breath. Take a look and listen at this first clip from this bizarre press conference.
Again, it's been a long journey in Afghanistan in particular. It's been a very long journey. It's been a hard journey for everybody. We're very largely a law enforcement group, and that's not what our soldiers are all about. They're fighters. They're the greatest fighters in the world. As you know, we've destroyed in Syria and Iraq 100% of the ISIS caliphate, 100%. We have thousands of prisoners. We've killed ISIS fighters by the thousands.
The labored breathing combined with his barely awake voice and rambling about ISIS, it's all very weird. Then here's Trump strangely talking about the sacrifices that have been made in Afghanistan, and he comes apart talking about the expenditure of treasure, the expenditure of treasury in the fight. Again, what on earth is this guy talking about, seemingly somnambulant?
I guess most of all, I want to thank all of the people in the United States for having spent so much in terms of blood, in terms of treasure and treasury, the money that has been spent, the lives that have been lost. And we just signed an agreement that puts us in a position to get it done, bring us down to in the vicinity of 8,000 troops. The United Nations was informed of everything, and NATO has been great. Secretary Stoltenberg has been fantastic.
Again, the extremely slow speech, the labored breathing, the sniffing and not making one iota of sense. Then in comes Mike Pence, who is, remember, he's running this whole thing. We'll follow up on that component as well, and says travel is being banned to Iran, and watch Trump in the background seeming like he's struggling to stay awake.
The task force met this morning and brought the president a range of options, and at his direction, we will be doing the following. First, the president authorized action today to add additional travel restrictions on Iran. We will be using Section 212F, banning travel from Iran. Iran is also already under a travel ban, but we are expanding existing travel restrictions to include any foreign national who has visited Iran within the last 14 days.
And then a key moment, Donald Trump asked about, you've been referring to all of this as a hoax. Now someone has died. Do you stand by that? And Trump incomprehensibly says, no, what I meant was that the hoax is on them, on the Democrats with COVID-19. What?
I could just ask you said the other day in the cabinet room with African-American leaders, you've got to get away from politics. You were down in Charleston last night using the word hoax when talking about Democrats. Somebody now is dead from this. Do you regret that kind of talk?
No. Hoax referring to the action that they take to try and pin this on somebody because we've done such a good job. The hoax is on them. I'm not talking about what's happening here. I'm talking what they're doing. That's the hoax. That's just a continuation of the hoax, whether it's the impeachment hoax or the Russia hoax. This is what I'm talking about.
I challenge anyone to explain what Trump means here. When he called it a hoax, he meant the hoax is on the Democrats, but it's also being perpetrated by the Democrats. The Democrats are hoaxing and being hoaxed but COVID-19 itself is not the hoax. Imagine that. And then lastly here, back to the topic of Afghanistan, Trump in this part gets visibly confused. He says we never should have gone into Afghanistan under Obama. Of course, we went in before Barack Obama. Trump seems to realize it, immediately gets confused and says, actually, we should have gone in. It becomes a complete and total mess.
I could just follow up. You pride yourself on a deal maker, but your former National Security Advisor, John Bolton, has said that this is an Obama-style deal and sends the wrong message to ISIS and al-Qaeda. What did the Taliban give up here?
First of all,
will you be hosting the Taliban in Washington at Camp David, or will you meet them abroad?
We'll look at that. Look, nobody should be criticizing this deal after 19 years. He had his chance. He didn't do it. He was very much in favor of going in. We should have never gone in the first place. When they went into Iraq, listen. When they went into Iraq, when they went into the Middle East in such a fashion, I was very much against it. Shouldn't have gone in. He thought we should have. That's been proven wrong. I'm surprised that anybody would be against something where we try and end a 19-year war. We're 8,000 miles away from our home. We've done a great job in the sense that we've killed a lot of terrorists. We've put them out of commission.
So then he actually says, well, no, I don't mean it was bad for Obama to go into Afghanistan. I mean, Bush shouldn't have gone into Iraq. I was against it. That's a lie. Trump went on Howard Stern and said he was in favor. But this is actually all about Afghanistan anyway. So Obama's opinion or Trump's opinion about Bush's Iraq war, it has nothing to do with what Donald Trump is doing in Afghanistan. It is nonsensical rambling. I got an email over the weekend from someone who said, David, we see this guy as an ignorant clown, but a lot of his followers see this same press conference and they see strength and power and a guy who's not going to be manipulated by the libs. And that's probably true that a lot of Trumpists see this same press conference that way. And that's why we can't convince them to vote for someone other than Trump in November. We simply have to go around them. This episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. One of the things I make a priority on the show is not to perpetuate stigma for things that don't deserve it. We've talked about mental health. We've talked about many things where we should all just be respectful adults, period, and we would be better off. And Blue Chew can increase performance and give you that extra confidence you may be looking for. BlueChew.com, blue like the color blue, is the first chewable with the same FDA-approved ingredient as in Viagra and Cialis. It can be taken day or night, even on a full stomach, since it's chewable. It works twice as fast as a pill. Whenever the opportunity arises, Blue Chew is prescribed online by licensed doctors. You don't have to go to a doctor's office. You don't have to wait in line at a pharmacy. It ships right to your door in a discreet package. They're made in the USA, and since Blue Chew prepares and ships direct, it's cheaper than a pharmacy. And best of all, no more awkwardness. We've got a special deal for our viewers and listeners. Go to BlueChew.com. Get your first shipment free when you use our promo code Pakman. That's Pakman. Pay just $5 shipping. That's BLUE Chew.com, promo code Pakman to try it totally free. Blue Chew is the better, cheaper, faster choice, and we thank them for sponsoring the David Pakman Show.